Good. Confused.
So you don't know what's happening today, do you?
No.
So my friend Gabby has asked if we can talk about
A blank screen.
pufferfish.
Ah.
She loves the pufferfish.
The Tetraodontidae.
Yes.
The scientific name for pufferfish is the Tetraodontidae.
There you go. I'm not going to even attempt to say that. So I asked you earlier today to pick 2 different types of pufferfish, didn't I? And this is why.
Freshwater and saltwater pufferfish.
Yes. So
Yep.
there
Here we go. So we have our freshwater. Now, the freshwater guys, there is, now I'm going to mention this right now, before we go any further. As far as pufferfish goes, there is about 120 species of puffer.
go. Okay.
Okay, now, seeing we're talking about freshwater first, there's, these types split down into 2 again.
Yeah.
So,
Like
kind of,
yeah.
but different. So the freshwater puffer breaks down into 2 once again. So there's 40 different types of these ones that live in brackish water. Do you know what brackish water is?
No.
Brackish water is like it's salt water and freshwater combined.
Yeah.
So have you ever hear the word brackish water? It's salt and fresh water combined.
Okay.
Kind of like it can be like in an estuary setting.
Yeah.
Because estuaries are areas where salt water and fresh water mix.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's really what an estuary is where that salt water and fresh water mix. So that's like that can be a brackish area, and you can find these in estuary areas, which is that brackish area. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's 40 types in brackish water, and then there's a further 29 types just in the freshwater.
Wow.
Okay. So you could say what 69 of the 120 species live. 40 live in brackish, and 29 of that 69 live in fresh.
Yeah.
Leaving 51 species that are.
There we go.
Salt
Saltwater.
So these ones, the saltwater, live in tropical, subtropical area. Okay, so you.
So what would those subtropical areas be?
South America.
Yeah.
You'll find we do get them here too. Like there's obviously species in South Australia.
We see this. Look good.
Yeah, 100%. They are. Look, I'm going to say this: the abundance of them are in tropical and subtropical areas. Like up in Cairns around the Great Barrier Reef, there is an abundance of them.
Yeah.
You see them everywhere. But look, if you want to have a look at it, they're pretty much in every ocean of the world, apart from the Antarctic. It's too cold.
Well, that makes sense.
So there's not a whole lot of species that can survive in the Antarctic. They have to be very, very special.
Yeah.
And one of those ones that we're going to talk about in the very, very near future is the beluga whale.
Yes.
We'll talk about that. But at this point in time, we're talking about these guys. So the remaining 51 is saltwater, which is marine water, which is what is called marine water.
Yeah.
Now, you can have pufferfish as pets.
Yeah. Can you have both fresh and salt, or can you just?
Yes, you do. You can have, but you can't have them together. Okay, so just if you want to have a freshwater tank, then you can have the freshwater.
Yeah.
You can have the ones that live in brackish water, but then you have to have the perfect combination of
Fresh
fresh and
that
salt.
would be really hard.
Which it's hard to keep up the pH levels and everything on that because you've got a combo.
Yeah.
So and look, really the only one who can do that successfully is Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you can have them as pets. You can have either fresh water and you can have salt water, but you have to make sure that your levels of salt are perfect.
Yeah.
If you've got salt water, you have to make sure the conditions are right in your tank, in your aquarium. And the same with your fresh water. So if you've got fresh water pufferfish, you have to make sure that the pH levels and everything are fine. I do not recommend pufferfish as a beginner's fish. They are extremely difficult to take care of.
Yeah.
They're one of the hardest fish to look after.
What do they eat?
They eat crustaceans, mollusks, is their main diet.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of very, very interesting facts about these, about pufferfish. Now, some of them, they don't have, like other fish, they don't have scales. They do not have scales.
So we've got a little demonstration over here. We want to bring the scale over.
Yeah, can you bring that over here, please? So these two, these are saltwater. So these are saltwater puffers.
And these are real?
Yes, they are.
Yes. And they weren't caught illegally?
No. These were actually dead when they were found, and they were just preserved. So as you can see, there's absolutely no scales on them.
So like, is it like a skin or?
Yeah. It's a skin. Now, so these are two different. So some species have large spikes, and some don't. They have like a small spike.
This is kind of
if you run your hand this way,
you feel these
tiny spikes.
So that's the spikes that come up when they bloat up, correct?
Now you'll see the spikes. I don't know whether you guys can see on camera the spikes that are here. And this one's going to be a little harder to see, but the smaller spikes on this one. Now, puffers, I'm just going to pop this down for a moment. Puffers,
Popping it down.
Puffers are extremely slow moving. Alright, now as you saw with the shape of them, they are quite long.
Yes.
And they've got the tail. The tail acts as it's like a propeller to propel them through the water.
So how fast do they move in the water?
Very, very slowly. Very slowly.
Yeah.
They grow from the size of your pygmy puffer, which is around 1 centimetre.
Oh, that's cute.
Up to around about 2 feet. Yeah, you can get the bigger marine ones. Okay. The little pygmies are very, very cute. Now, with your puffers, they are very slow moving, and they do use their these little. I don't know whether you guys can see their little pectoral fins here, so that they're fanned.
Yeah.
How they're fanned, kind of fanned. Their tail, kind of fanned.
And then, do they use this one at all?
That's the dorsal.
So they don't use that to help that don't move, to help them.
It moves along with them.
Yeah.
So your puffers, they're extremely slow moving. So obviously you can imagine they're predators, which is dolphins, sharks, yeah, you name it.
Now, as you said as well, like, will dolphins, you've got two species there, and dolphins will play with all species of pufferfish, or is there one that they won't touch?
They will play with all species. Okay. Now getting back to the slow moving, like I said, they're slow moving, and as you can probably imagine, because of that slow moving, they're extremely open to predation, which is their predators.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way that they, now not all pufferfish have spikes.
Okay.
Not all of them do.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, pufferfish have what is called tetrodotoxin. Okay.
And that
in
is?
their skin, and within their body. Now, I will explain where this tetrodotoxin is found in the body in a second. Now, tetrodotoxin, you've heard me talk about the southern bluefin tuna, correct?
Yes.
As you know, I worked with the southern bluefin tuna.
And we did an episode on that one.
Yes. Now, the southern bluefin tuna also has this exactly the same tetrodotoxin, just in a lower dosage. Okay. As these guys. As the puffer. Now, the puffer, when faced with a predator, they can't move very quickly. So they do have great eyesight.
Yeah.
So they are able to see predators coming, so which allows them to get away before the predator can get them. They can move quickly, but at a short burst. So they are able to dash away quickly.
Yeah.
But that's about it. It's just a quick dash.
Yeah.
So they can get away like that. If both of those fail, what they do is they inflate themselves quickly with water.
How quick do they?
Seconds. seconds, literally seconds.
Yeah.
Now, when they inflate themselves with water,
Mm-hmm.
they actually inflate themselves to 3 times the normal size. So they can go and be from this to this in a matter of
Kind of
seconds.
like the pufferfish and shark tail.
Yeah, Mrs. Puff.
Yeah.
SpongeBob. In seconds. So, and when they puff out, the ones that have the spikes, when they puff out, you'll see the spikes come out. Now, what that does is it makes them look impalatable to the predator. Even if the predator does decide, I'm going to eat you, that predator may not live long.
Wow.
Because the toxins within the puffer, do you reckon it's really poisonous?
I would say so.
Do you want to hear a scary fact?
Yeah.
That will make you not ever want to touch one or even eat one.
You eat them?
You can eat them. They're a delicacy in Japan. They're called fugu in Japan. Wow. Which I'll get into in a minute. Do you want to know a scary, frightening fact?
Yes.
The puffer, the tetrodotoxin, is 1,200 times more deadly than cyanide.
Wow. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
They have, one pufferfish has enough tetrodotoxin in its body to kill 30 humans.
Wow.
Think about that for a moment.
That's a lot.
When you think cyanide's pretty deadly, that tetrodotoxin is so potent within a pufferfish. It is 1,200 times as deadly as cyanide, with the ability to kill 30 humans.
That's crazy.
Now, we were talking about eating them.
Just before we go back onto eating them, is there an antidote for a pufferfish? No. So if you get spiked one, you go on piss. Wow. There you go.
If you get spiked with one, now that's something that I'm going to come back to again in a second as well. Now, it's more, they are more deadly to you if you are actually ingesting them, if you're actually eating them. Now, over in Japan, they are a delicacy in Japan. Now, in saying that too, in Japan, the dish is called fugu, and that's just a pufferfish dish. Okay. Now, in Japan, these pufferfish can only be prepared by a licensed chef who is licensed for pufferfish.
Wow.
So you can't walk into just any restaurant in Japan and order pufferfish.
Wow. So
they need to have a licensed, trained chef in pufferfish dissection and filleting to be able to sell it.
Wow.
Because the toxin in the body. So the toxin is caused from a bacteria which is in their gut. Okay, so this bacteria sits in their gut and it causes this toxin. Okay. Now the toxin, it's found in their liver, their intestines, and in a female, in the ovaries.
Wow.
Okay. Now, if you were to ingest that, there's a pretty high, I would say a 95% chance that you are going to die, because there is absolutely no antidote for it in the world.
Has anyone ever tried to make an antidote for it?
They have, but it's failed many times. Like particularly in Japan, they have tried, and it's failed. Annually in Japan, there is quite a few deaths related to pufferfish being ingested in restaurants and not cut up properly and not prepared properly. And this is why now in Japan that they do have that law where they have to have a licensed chef to basically cut them up.
Wow.
And prepare them.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, you're talking about their spikes. Now, the spikes do have that tetrodotoxin on it, but it's not quite as potent as what's actually inside them. So it is on their skin and it is in those spikes as well. So if you were to get spiked by one of these, it will make you sick.
So this is a spike here as well.
That's a spike.
Okay.
Yeah, it will make you sick. Not necessarily kill you because you haven't ingested it. It's not quite as toxic as ingesting it. But like I said, the tetrodotoxin is more active within the body of the puffer.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as I said before, there's a lot of people who think that puffer fish inflate with air, but they actually inflate with water.
Wow.
Now, on the other side of that coin, let's flip it over. When fishermen are fishing and they pull them up out of the water, they do have the ability to inflate themselves with air.
Wow.
So they can inflate themselves with air without damaging their gut.
Wow.
Now, the toxin within their gut, I said it comes from bacteria. Also, some of the foods that they eat, they might eat a poisonous nudibranch that has a toxin. They use that toxin to intensify their own.
Wow.
So it's not only coming from their gut, but it's also coming from what they eat as well.
That's pretty cool.
So they take that toxin from the poisonous nudibranch that they may have eaten, ingest it, and combine it with their own tetrodotoxin. So they have the ability to take the poison from prey and use it to their advantage.
Wow.
So you can have some very highly toxic pufferfish out there. Now, I mentioned before that you can have them as pets. Yeah, you can have them as pets. The toxin within a pufferfish that is a pet that is in an aquarium is lower.
Okay.
Because the toxins that they have coming in from their food, they don't have because you're controlling what they eat.
Okay.
You have the control.
Yeah. So if you were to have a pufferfish as a pet, what would you feed them?
You would feed them exactly the same thing. You would feed them crabs, crustaceans, any crustacean mollusk, but you control what that mollusk is, what that crab is, you control what goes into their stomach.
Yes.
So by you controlling what goes into their stomach, the toxin is not quite as high in an aquarium situation. Now, I do not recommend that if you're fishing, that you touch them without a glove on. Do not touch them with your bare hand ever.
Don't.
It's one of the worst things you can do. Like I said, they are very cute. They do look so cute. Like, we've been down the wharf and we've seen them swimming around. They do look very, very cute, but they are extremely poisonous. Like I said, 1,200 times more dangerous than cyanide, which is what they actually use in the gas chamber.
Yes.
So think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Now, they do come in a range of different colours. They can be bright colours or they can be just very dull colours.
Is there any, because I know with birds, the females are the brightest and the males are the more like dull. Is that the same with them or just...
No.
No?
Do you know how to tell a difference between a male and a female puffer?
Yes.
Yeah?
Can you tell between them?
These ones have been so preserved. So when they're alive, behind the eye of a male is wrinkly.
Okay.
So if you find a pufferfish that have wrinkles behind the eye, then it's a male.
Okay.
If you find a pufferfish that does not have those, it's female.
Wow.
So that's how you tell the difference between a male and a
So
female.
with these, are these their real eyes here?
Yes, they are. These have been preserved quite well. And with anything that I get that is marine related, particularly if it is an animal, I make sure that that animal has been preserved correctly and that it has not been killed inhumanely.
Yes.
And I did find out that these ones they were just found.
Yeah.
They died of natural causes.
Yeah.
So they can live up to 10 years.
Are they good parents?
Like any fish, no.
No.
No,
They
so
lay the eggs.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so they just lay the eggs and off they go.
And off they go. Now, so they can live up to 10 years, providing they're not eaten. But generally, now these are the toxic ones are the ones that the dolphins play with to get high,
which is quite funny.
That's like a high for a dolphin.
Yeah.
So this is what they do. They nose it with their bottle to back and forth, tip their nose, which is their bottle, until that pufferfish inflates, and the toxins that's coming from its body, and they'll actually bite it as well.
Wow.
So they'll hold it in their
mouth.
mouth.
Will they eat it, a pufferfish?
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They will.
What is their most feared predator?
The predator that feeds on them the most?
Yes.
Dolphins? Yep. Dolphins and sharks. Sharks will have a bit of a munch on them, but like I said, they are highly toxic. So guys, if you are fishing for puffer, well, don't fish for puffer, don't ever fish for puffer. No. But if you are fishing and you hook a puffer on your line, please make sure you have a very thick glove when you try to take it off your hook and put them back, because they are highly toxic.
Another quick question, is any of them endangered?
No,
that's good.
Not at all. Pufferfish are far from endangered. They are not endangered at all in any way, shape or form.
Okay, good. And we want to keep it that way.
We do want to keep it that way because we don't want them getting on that list. And you know, like I said, there's 120 different species. Some live in fresh, some live in salt. Those freshwater, like I said, are broken down again into two further groups. 40 that live in the brackish water, which is the salt and freshwater combined, and a further 29 that live in just straight freshwater, and the further 51 that are all marine. So yes, just summing everything up, the pufferfish is toxic. Not all of them are highly toxic, but they all do have that tetrodotoxin.
Yeah.
Okay. Do not ingest them. Do not think that you can take them home. Cut them up and eat them, because there is a high chance that you won't get all the toxins out, and that will not be good. No. They can cause respiratory problems as well if ingested. So the ones that are not quite as highly toxic as the higher toxic ones can cause respiratory problems, which can kill you. And like I said, 1,200 times as deadly as cyanide, their toxin is. Now, it is a toxin, not a poison. Yeah. So they cannot bite you. Toxin. Just getting back to them, they do have 4 teeth. Okay. But those 4 teeth are actually fused together. So two fused together on top, 2 fused together on the bottom to create a beak. Yeah. So they've got a beak just like a turtle, just like a parrotfish, and just like a jacket, an ocean jacket. So they do have a beak. They're extremely good crushers. So they crush things extremely well with the beak. Wow. Just be careful, guys, and if you are fishing for them, just make sure you've got a glove. Just, chuck them back, but don't try and ingest them unless you are trained on how to remove the toxins, the toxic parts of their body from the meat. The meat is a delicacy. The rest of them is not. Wow, there you go. So just be careful. Like I said, it is a toxin, not a poison. So they cannot sting you, they cannot bite you. So don't worry about that. What you have to worry about is careful ingesting them. I recommend that you don't do it yourself, like I said, and be careful with those spikes, because those spikes can make you sick as well. And there is no antidote anywhere in the world.
There you go. Is that everything for the pufferfish today? There you go, Gabby. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed ours too. And thank you so much, Karen.
You're welcome.
So, Mentoring Crew out. Bye.